and you're set to boondock with the tankless water heater. Don't let people tell you that you can't do it and then waste too much water, because they're lying. In a previous video, I told you guys how a tankless water heater actually works and how to operate it properly so that you don't get any bursts of cold water out of nowhere, and how to operate it correctly. That video got a gazillion views and a gazillion comments. And I kept hearing over and over again in the comment section, don't get a tankless water heater because you can't boondock with it because it wastes too much water. We're going to debunk that. That's a lie. And we're actually going to show you how to make this super efficient at not wasting water while boondocking. So stick around, check it out. Welcome to the Salty Trips channel. I'm Chris. We're all about full-time RV life, trucks, travel, towing, all that jazz. Today we are talking about tankless water heaters, some of the myths and things that are going around that might have people scared about getting one. And one of the big things is, like I said in a previous video, I made a video about how to use this properly, about how you only open up the hot water, you don't open up the cold valve, and you just adjust the temperature on the thermostat to what you desire. And there's lots of good reasons for that because of the flow meter, not a pressure sensor, because these things, not a single pressure sensor in this thing. It's a flow meter. Anyway, I'll leave that video if you're interested in figuring out how that works in the description area below, and I'll have it linked at the end of this video up in the corner. But that's not what this is about. This is about boondocking and tankless water heater efficiency. And like I said, the comment I kept getting over and over again is that the tankless water heater wastes too much water while you're boondocking and you can't use it because you just burn through all your water. And here's the reason why people say that. Is because when you turn the hot water on, nothing's hot at that moment. The water has to start flowing through the tankless water heater and activate the flow meter, which lets it know that water's flowing. Then a flame starts, then the flame heats up the coils, then the water flowing through the coils heats up and comes out your shower. And that whole process, I've done tests on it before. I did it with my old tankless water heater. I did it with this one too. And it takes about 20 seconds. From the time you turn on the hot water valve to the time that you got hot water coming out of your shower is about 20 seconds. If you have, let's say you average about 3 gallons a minute out of your shower nozzle, it could be more, it could be less. We're just averaging out 3 gallons a minute because you usually need about that much for the tankless water heaters to work. And so that you're wasting possibly about 1 gallon of water every time you're waiting for that hot water. But there's ways people get around that. And we specifically have installed something in here that is super easy and super simple that makes it so you don't waste any hot water. You don't waste any water at all. But this device, what it does is it lets you recirculate the water until the water gets heated. So you're not wasting any water. So it sucks out of the tank, goes to the water heater, goes to a 3-way valve, then recirculates back down to the tank or in line with the suction hose, and just keeps recirculating like that until this gets up to temperature. And then as soon as the water that's recirculating gets up to temperature, you just switch it over and you have instant hot water coming out of the shower. This device is actually called a shower miser, and I think it goes for about like 70 bucks or so on Amazon. We are going to show you how to make that same thing for $20. Well, at least the parts that they supply is reduced from $70 to $20, because this thing has a little hose that comes out that turns from blue to red. It lets you know when the hot water's running through it. But you don't really need that, because if you have a tankless water heater, you probably have a thermostat inside that lets you know what the temperature of the water is. So you don't need that. All you need to buy is a $20 3-way valve. And we're going to install that, show you exactly how it works, and then we're going to test it out. So all we need is this 3-way valve to get us started, to get the recirculation going. And this is what we install in the shower. We have some PEX pipe here. I got some white, so it'll kind of match the bathroom. And we just need a drill. And I got a little elbow fitting that's going to direct the pipe through the wall. And I'll show you exactly how we're going to set this up. It's actually a fairly simple concept. Let's get in there, I'll show you. First thing I'm going to do is take my PVC cutters and just cut a little piece of this pipe off, because we'll need that in a second. All right, guys, so here we have our shower, and everybody's might be configured a little bit differently. This may be coming out, it may be facing down, but it's all the same form and function. Basically, you just have to take your shower nozzle off, and you're going to replace it with this three-way valve. And it basically kind of works the same way as if you would put this on if you had a shower head coming off it and a shower line like this, so you have two, it switches it back and forth. We're going to snug that down, and we're going to reconnect this over here so that when the valve is faced that way, the water will go through here and up to the shower. Once all we do is switch it over that way, then the water will come out of here. We are going to reconnect it back in line down under the basement, and it'll just recirculate over and over again. And then we just got a little elbow right here, and I got a little piece of the PEX pipe I cut, and we're just going to screw this down because we are going to run a line through the wall down to the basement. And all the hot and cold water lines go down here directly into the basement, so you know there's a path directly straight down. So we're just going to, once we got this screwed down where we want to, we're going to take this and we'll mark right here where we're going to drill through, and then we're going to feed the line all the way down back over towards the pump in the basement. So we're just going to mark this, pull this off, drill a hole right through here. Nice clean hole there. And then we are just going to start shoving our PEX, start feeding our pipe all the way down till we get to the bottom. And we'll see where we wind up down there. And guys, believe it or not, I can actually fit inside and over that thing. I was worried when we put the Morai tray in here that I wouldn't be able to access that, but I can crawl over there and fit in there. All right, so we made it in here. You probably should be able to see the white hose coming out of there. Here we go. And that should be plenty for in here. And we're gonna have to reattach it back over here and splice into it. All right, now we got that all the way through. We're gonna go back upstairs and we're gonna do some cutting, crimping, and sealing. And then that side upstairs will be done. This Morai tray makes it so much easier to just clear out that space. All right, and while we're out here, I'm going to remedy something that's been driving me nuts for a while here. This door that comes open like this, like all the other doors have magnets on them. Why does this not have a magnet on it? It's driving me crazy because a good gust of wind comes by and this thing goes flying, or if I got the trailer lifted up and I'm putting it on the hitch, just gravity makes it want to swing closed. So I want to keep this thing open. So what I did is I just bought some of those little magnets that we're going to screw to here and then onto there. That should fix the problem. And I'll leave these linked in the description area below. If you have any doors that don't have these magnets on them, it's super easy to do. All right, so we're just going to find somewhere where it makes good contact. Maybe right there. Then we'll just put a couple screws in here. I don't know where that's gonna go. All right. That's something I should have done a long time ago. All right, for this part, we're just gonna need some PVC cutters, our crimper for our PEX crimps, a 90, well, two 90s, one thread on 90, and then the other three are barbed because they're gonna slip into the PEX. We're going to pull up a little bit here. We are going to slip over our crimp, put our 90 on, and you see these barbs, you want to crimp it where it's about in the middle of the barb. And the way these work, you just stick the clamp in there, squeeze down, and just crushes it. And that keeps that crimped. Then we just take a little measurement of where we need to go through the wall there. Slip that all the way on. I forgot to account for the little notch in this thing, so I'm just going to punch a little hole through the top here. I'm not too worried about how it looks, because eventually I'm going to have something around it. I'm going to seal it up with some caulk, but I'm going to have something around it to make it look pretty. So now we'll put this one on. Just shove this down to the hole. Once we get that through, just tighten it down. And then we're just going to fill this gap with caulk. And all I'm doing is just sealing it up, because we'll come back and faceplate to go over it so it looks a little better. That'll do. Oh, so we got this little grommet thing that's gonna just make it look nice for Kimberly. Just clips over like that. I'm gonna stick that on, and then we'll just probably run a little silicone around there and around here, make that look nice. All right, so basically all we need to do to tie in that PEX line with the pump is we need to find a part of the vacuum side where it sucks from and split in a T. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to go straight from that PEX into here, and where the line comes off the manifold to the pump, we're going to disconnect it from the pump, put it to here, and then we're going to go from here back to the pump, so that when we're recirculating, it's going to go through here and then to the pump. And then when we have the recirculation off, it's just going to go here and then back out. And then we are just going to take this so that stuff isn't rattling around, and we're going to clamp that down to the bottom to hold it. Let's get in there. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about, and it should come together rather nice. All right, so this is the line that goes to the pump, and we're going to disconnect that and connect it to our T and put it in a really tight spot here. If you can see here, it's pitched. So this will actually probably help give it a little bit better flow, because we're going to get rid of that pinch. I better move our sensor. If you can get some water over here. We've got the SureFlow 90 that we are going to put on here, which the other option is to move this back a little bit, but instead I just bought a 90 so I wouldn't have to move it. All right, so we're going to attach this 90 over here to the pump. And this pipe's going to come down here. So I'm probably just going to cut it right about here. Well, we can attach this. We'll attach both these here. This is the one that goes from the manifold that used to go to the pump. Now it's just coming to the T. This goes from the T to the pump. And you don't have to use Teflon tape on these, because these are all have, you know, gaskets in there right about here. So I'm going to cut that. We're going to slip on the crimp, push this on, and remember, we want it right about the middle. And then technically we should be good to go. This line coming from the manifold to the T, then from the T back to the pump. And then back there from the shower line coming into the T. It's really pretty simple. Almost forgot, I'm going to secure this right here. That way it's nice and tidy. All right, so now that we've got all that sorted, now it's time to test it out. We are going to shut off our water here. We are going to switch it to dry camping. Come in here, turn on the water pump. All right, guys, so we're here in the shower, This is how this is going to go. We have the shower set up right here, and this is all you have to do. We have the pump on, and we're going to set it to recirculation. We're going to turn the hot water on. It's going to kick on, start kicking the furnace on, and you're going to let it recirculate until it gets up to temperature. And it doesn't take long. And we're already at 105 degrees, which that's what we have it set at. And then once you do that, all you have to do is switch it over, and you have instant hot water coming out of the shower. Instant. You wasted no water. Now you're using nothing but straight hot water. And then when you're done, you stop that, lather up, do your thing, get all sudsy, clean yourself, and then you go to rinse again. And usually the coils, by the time you get done with that, the coils are still hot. So you usually don't have to do the recirculation thing again. You can just kick this back on, and sometimes it may get like a surge of water that goes through it, that the coils will cool down and warm that water up. And then while that's warming up, the fire's kicking on. And by the time that goes through, you may have some like warm water that comes out for about 2 seconds. And then it goes right back to hot. You don't get that cold surge anymore. No more cold surges anymore. No more wasting water. You get that warm water for like about 2 seconds, and then it's right back to hot again. And usually that's all you have to do. But if you don't want that even little bit of warm surge, all you have to do is recirculate, open the hot water, let it circulate through again till it gets hot, and then switch it over, and then you got instant hot water, no even the lukewarm, and you're wasting no water at all. So this is about as efficient as you can get for boondocking. And also there's this other little tip we're going to give you that people often do is, what they'll do is they'll have like a little pitcher or a bucket in here, and if they don't have the three-way valve and they have a tankless water heater, is they'll turn it on, put this and fill this up with the pitcher of water while it's heating up. And then when it heats up, they'll just take that pitcher and set it aside, and they'll use that to either do dishes or use in the toilet or something like that. I don't want to have to deal with a bucket or anything like that, so we set it up this way, so it's super easy. I just want to make things as easy and simple for Kim as possible for boondocking, because we have some big plans in the future. We have a 98-gallon fresh water tank. We don't want to waste any of it if we don't have to, and we want to shower whenever we want to shower. And over a 2-week period, if we save 20 gallons using this three-way valve, then that's a couple of extra showers we can take, wash more dishes, flush the toilet more, and just go that many more days without having to go to hookups. So that's pretty simple, pretty easy to put together. I'll leave links for all the pieces and part it took to put it together in the description here below. And don't go buy that shower miser, because it is just wasting money. All it is a three-way valve, and all the pieces and parts like the PEX hose and fittings and stuff like that, you're gonna have to buy that separately anyway, and that's gonna be additional cost. So the shower miser doesn't come with everything. And for the total price of the shower miser, you can have that whole system set out. It only took like about 2.5 hours to do everything that I did. It always takes longer for me because I have to film everything, and that takes a little bit longer, but it does not take any time at all to do all that stuff. Below, and you do it once and you don't ever have to worry about it again, and you're set to boondock with the tankless water heater. Don't let people tell you that you can't do it and then waste too much water, because they're lying. And thank you for coming along. Give this video a big thumbs up, shows us you appreciate the content. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. We got lots more full-time RV life, truck travel, towing stuff coming along. Thank you so much for the support, and we'll see you guys in the next video.